So, the movie kicks off with Watney and his crew on Mars, just hanging out, doing their thing. But then, surprise, the planet throws a tantrum, and they get hit by a storm so bad it would make Earth's hurricanes look like light breezes. The crew, led by Commander Lewis, makes the executive decision to bail before they get blown away. They're all sorry, Watney, but you're on your own, buddy. Because from their perspective, he gets hit by debris and is presumed deader than last year's Thanksgiving turkey. But wait, plot twist. We are not killing main character in the starting of the movie, right? Watney's not dead. He's alive, super injured, and buried in Martian dirt. Once he crawls out of the dust like a post-apocalyptic action hero, he realizes two things. One, his crew is gone, like they've already left the solar system, sipping juice boxes and eating pizza on their spaceship. Two, he's alone on Mars. No more Uber Eats for him. Operation Don't Die. Now, when most of us have a bad day, we grab some ice cream and binge watch TV. But Watney, he's on Mars. No Netflix, no ice cream. All he's got is a backpack full of tools, a space habitat called the Hab, and his big brain. So instead of panicking, Watney decides, you know what? Let's science the heck out of this. Step 1. Fix the hole in his suit. You know, the one that could kill him. Watney slaps some duct tape on it because apparently duct tape can fix anything, even fatal space wounds. Next, he performs surgery on himself to remove a piece of antenna stuck in his gut. No anesthesia, just space grit and determination. Anyone else would have passed out immediately, but not our guy. He's built different. After some casual self-surgery, Watney takes stock of his supplies. Food rations for about 31 days, water, and air. Just enough for a light snack and maybe a short nap. Definitely not enough to wait for NASA to send a rescue squad. But does Watney panic? Nope. He channels his inner Bear Grylls and starts planning. He decides that he needs to grow food, because apparently no one in the history of space travel thought to pack extra snacks. Watney realizes that he has to grow his own food if he wants to survive long enough for help to arrive. Now, the dude's a botanist, so he's not sweating it. He's basically Earth's top plant nerd. He just needs water, soil, and seeds. Simple, right? Except he's on Mars, a planet that's about as fertile as your sock drawer. But Watney's a problem solver, so he thinks, why not turn my space home into a farm? First, he digs up some Martian soil, which is basically red dirt, and starts spreading it around the Hab. He also needs fertilizer, and guess what he's got plenty of? His own poop. Yep, this man is about to become the first human in history to grow food using poop fertilizer on another planet. History books better put some respect on this guy's name. He plants potatoes because, obviously, potatoes are the easiest and most versatile food in the universe. You can boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew, or in Watney's case, use them to not starve on Mars. It's like a survival show meets MasterChef, but with fewer Gordon Ramsay insults and more life-or-death tension. He even figures out how to make water by burning hydrazine rocket fuel, a process that's 50% science and 50% sheer luck. Spoiler alert, he almost blows himself up in the process. But hey, no big deal. While Watney's busy turning Mars into his personal potato garden, NASA finally realizes that they may have left someone behind. Oops. Imagine the PR nightmare. NASA's like, remember that astronaut we thought was dead? Yeah, so, funny story, he's alive. Naturally, everyone on Earth freaks out because leaving someone on Mars is like the ultimate forgot your kid at the mall situation. The internet explodes with memes. Mark Watney becomes the world's unluckiest reality TV star without even knowing it. Enter Teddy Sanders, NASA's top guy, who now has to figure out how to save Watney without getting fired or causing a full-blown panic. The NASA Brain Trust, which includes guys like Mitch Henderson and Annie Montrose, scrambles to come up with a plan. But let's be real, it's not looking great. Mars is far, rescue missions take time, and worst of all, Watney might run out of ketchup for his potatoes. Meanwhile, Rich Pernell, a brilliant but socially awkward astrophysicist, figures out a crazy plan. Why not use the crew that left Watney behind to slingshot around Earth and pick him up on their way back to Mars? It's like the ultimate cosmic Uber pool ride, except way more dangerous and with a lot fewer seatbelts. While Earth is busy figuring out how to rescue him, Watney's having a series of terrible days. First, his potato farm blows up. Yep, you heard that right. He accidentally causes an airlock breach, and his greenhouse becomes the world's first space BBQ. Suddenly, Watney's back to square one. No food, no air, and probably questioning all of his life choices. Watney doesn't lose hope. He patches up the Hab with even more duct tape, because obviously that's the secret to surviving Mars, and prepares for his next challenge, driving across Mars in a rover that looks like a glorified golf cart. Watney has to make it to the Ares 4 landing site, which is several hundred kilometers away. He loads up his rover with supplies, and like any road trip, brings along a terrible playlist of 70s disco music left behind by Commander Lewis. He jams to hot stuff while bouncing across the Martian landscape. Imagine if Mario Kart took place on a giant red planet with no roads, and you've pretty much got the idea. Meanwhile, back on Earth, NASA and Watney's original crew are cooking up their own harebrained plan to get him off Mars. The crew, who feel super guilty about leaving Watney behind in the first place, decide to go rogue and rescue him. They essentially steal their spaceship, the Hermes, and slingshot back to Mars in a move that's equal parts brilliant and insane. Watney, now practically a Martian MacGyver, prepares for the craziest escape ever. He strips down his Mars Ascent Vehicle, MAV, turning it into a space jalopy, complete with a tarp as a windshield. I repeat, this man is about to launch himself into space with a tarp as a windshield. It's the ultimate DIY project. Watney probably considers starting a YouTube channel at this point, called How to Survive on Mars. The plan? He's going to blast off from Mars, meet the Hermes in space, and the crew will grab him mid-flight. Easy, right? Sure, if you ignore the fact that this plan has about 50 million things that could go wrong. And now we arrive at the most stressful game of cosmic catch ever. Watney blasts off into space in his potato-powered rocket, and it's immediately clear that nothing is going according to plan. He's not going fast enough, he's too far off course. And did I mention he's basically flying in a potato with a tarp window? The crew of the Hermes decides to throw out the rulebook and try something completely insane. They're going to blow up part of their ship to give them an extra speed boost. Because that's always a good idea, right? Commander Lewis volunteers to be the one to spacewalk over and grab Watney, who is now flying through space like a human frisbee. Just when you think Watney's luck has finally run out, Lewis manages to catch him in the most dramatic gotcha moment of the century. Watney is saved. The crew cheers. Earth celebrates. And Watney, after spending over a year on a planet with nothing but red dust and potatoes, finally gets to come home. He's greeted like a hero, probably showered with free food, and likely avoids potatoes for the rest of his life. The movie ends with Watney becoming a professor, teaching future astronauts how to survive in space. Basically, how to farm on Mars 101. He's a living legend, the guy who grew potatoes with poop and lived to tell the tale. But if you ask me, the real lesson here is this. When life gives you Mars, you plant potatoes. And never, ever underestimate the power of duct tape. Hey there, thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed the ride and want to keep the party going, give that like button a high five and hit subscribe. Your future self will thank you. Signing off, Recap God.